Well, so here's what we know, that in the next 48 hours, all electronic money transactions beyond 100 Ghana cedis per day will attract a 1.75% levy. This is because government says it will not put on hold the implementation of the controversial electronic transactions levy. Already, the Ghana Revenue Authority says it has put out a guideline indicating the measures that it will adopt, which will include a modified phased approach to the implementation of the e-levy. And as we speak, there are meetings underway between officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority and telecommunications companies. We'll be bringing you some updates on that meeting. But first, here's a breakdown of the guidelines by the Ghana Revenue Authority for you. It indicates that the levy shall be charged and remitted by a charging entity to the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Act actually specifies the following charging entities. So here are the entities that will be charging the electronic transactions levy. We know that first of all, it includes the electronic money issuers such as MTN mobile money services. You also have Vodafone Cash catered for in the guideline. There's Airtel Tigo Money as well. We have ZPay, G Money, and then you have the Yup wallet. Then there are more service providers that are not stated explicitly in that guideline. But also on point 2, the Ghana Revenue Authority is indicating in the guidelines that payment services and payment service providers as well will be captured. Then the levy shall be charged and then remitted by some more entities under the Act, which includes banks. We have the Consolidated Bank of Ghana, for instance, and also GCB. We have the Agricultural Development Bank. And then there's also the specialized deposit-taking institutions, such as the rural and community banks, savings and loans companies as well, and some other financial houses. We'll bring all of those details to you, but there's more. Also in terms of the guideline, under the Act as well, the electronic transfer is being defined as a transaction carried out electronically on the initiative of the originator through an institution or a platform to make available an amount of money to the beneficiary. Thus, the levy is charged on transfers only. Transactions such as bank deposits and withdrawals, mobile money cash in, and also cash out as well, will be excluded from the levy. So that's part of the guidelines that we have. Then it continues to indicate that the electronic transfer levy applies to the following transfers as specified in the second schedule of the Act. So we have mobile money transfers done between accounts on the same electronic money issuer, sending money from a mobile money wallet to another individual or entity on the same platform. It's part of the activities that will be captured here in terms of the electronic transactions levy. We also have other terms and conditions which apply. We have B, mobile money transfers from an account on one electronic money issuer to a recipient on another electronic money issuer, sending money from a mobile money wallet on one platform to another individual's or entity's mobile money wallet on another platform. That would also mean that the transactions will be covered. You would have to pay that 1.75%. But there's more as well, talking about some other categories that are covered in terms of the electronic transactions levy. We have transfers from bank accounts to mobile money accounts. We have persons transferring money from an individual's or entity's bank account to another individual or entity's mobile money wallet. This would include all payouts to mobile money wallets from gaming and games of chance, such as lottery and betting. So all of these activities will be covered. But in terms of the activities that are not covered, you need to also know about them. Some of the transactions that would not be, will not be subject to that 1.75% deduction. So we'll bring that to you shortly. In terms of the transactions that are not covered. But here's what you need to know. The point D is also talking about the fact that transfers from mobile money accounts to bank accounts, transferring money from an individual or entity's mobile money wallet to another individual or entity's bank account will be covered. So it goes on to talk about the banks and the digital payment platforms. And then what we also know is that there are some transfers or transactions that would not be covered. So here we are. The transactions that would not be covered includes the cumulative transfer of 100 cedis a day made by the same person. We know that that 100 cedis threshold is the value of the electronic transfers above which the levy will be applied. This accrues to persons or individuals or entities who have updated their records with the charging entities using the national identity card or the taxpayer identification number. Then point B is also talking about some more transactions that would not be covered. Now, a transfer between accounts owned by the same person, which includes transfers to joint accounts, either by account holder, transfers into a trust account by a trustee, and other charges in that same bracket will not be covered. But we're also hearing of some refunds that will be applied as well when it comes to the electronic transaction levy. So there's a possibility that there could be errors in transferring money to wrong accounts or wallets as well. So when that happens, the Ghana Revenue Authority is indicating that there will be some refunds or reversal of transfers to you if you're wrongfully charged. So you are entitled to that. If there's an error in the transfer of money to the wrong account or wallet, then you may have some refund as well, or reversal when there's a wrongful charge by the charging entity and unavailability of GRA e-levy assessment application programming interface. And then we also have reversals will also occur when the charges happen in terms of an erroneous deduction. That would also be covered under the e-levy. So these are some of the conditions that are being given as part of the guidelines from the Ghana Revenue Authority. But there's a need for us to tell you this as well, that as we speak, a meeting is underway between officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority and some telcos to clear all the issues out ahead of implementation. Some minority MPs also claim that government may not be able to roll out implementation due to the lack of infrastructure. However, government has been reacting to that claim. Deputy Finance Minister Dr. John Kumar says government is ready and will continue with the implementation of the e-levy.
We are 95% ready, so the 48 hours should make it 100%.
So we are 95% ready, and the next 48 hours will be 100% ready.
Yes, we are rolling out, God willing, May 1st. The e-levy is coming on live. It is also not true. Let me try to respond to the propaganda out there that e-levy is going to tax churches and mosques for their tithe and offerings. That's a complete lie and falsehood, and I encourage people to disregard that claim. There's no truth in that statement. E-levy does not affect churches, their offerings and tithes or zakat or things like that. So let me put that in perspective.
Dr. Kumar, just to clarify, so, and I listened to that conversation as Sam George and others had them. He specifies that, you know, especially on the back of COVID, some people may not go to church, but they pay their tithes, they pay their offering via Momo. You're aware of that, right? And that is what he was referencing, that if these churches they may have to use merchant numbers, or if they are not, then it means that if I decide to send, let's say, 200 CDs as offering or tithe, and I am using Momo, 1.5 will hit me, right? But that's supposed to be offering. If I were giving it in church, there would be no 1.5 on it. So that is the context in which some of this is. How is that going to be managed?
Yes, that's the context I completely disagree. First of all, assuming you issued a check for your tithe of, say, 2,000 Ghana cedis, your bank is still going to charge you for your bank charges services for issuing a check. Does it mean that you are being charged for your tithe? Or assuming that I picked my car, bought fuel, and drove to the bank and withdrew 2,000 cedis to go and pay my tithe, the transportation to the bank to do the withdrawal and transportation to the church, is it part of the tithe I'm paying? So this is a complete propaganda just to create unnecessary fear in people. If you decide to pay your tithe of 2,000 Ghana cedis, exactly 2,000 Ghana cedis will go to the church, or to the mosque, and it will not be taxed. E-levy is not designed to tax church.
Well, joining us now is Charles Addo, speaks for the Association of Mobile Money Merchants. Thank you, sir, for your time. So here we are. Government says it is ready to roll out the electronic transactions levy. Stakeholder engagements are still proceeding. Have you been engaged? And would you say that you are ready as an association for the implementation?
A very good afternoon to you, Cherry Day. Thanks for having me. As you rightly put it, government is 95% ready for rollout. Equally as agents, we are more than ready because the implementation of this law lies with us. And as an association or agents across the country, we are more than ready. More education is ongoing, both on the one-on-one and that of the media. So for us, we are more than ready.
You earlier indicated some of the concerns that you had as a group ahead of the implementation. Have all those issues been sorted out?
Yeah, like I stated earlier the other side, government have called on us on May 8th to have engagement with him at the Placard House. And we want to reserve all those challenges and then table it before the government.
We know that you would also be engaging government on your concerns in the coming days. What are the details of that meeting, and what's your expectation? What are the exact demands that you're placing before government?
Even before the passage of the e-levy, we tabled out 30 challenges that the agents on the street is going to confront with e-levy tax. Among those are unemployment, decline in our profits, the risk of losing most of our resources in terms of investment, people withdrawing their investment, the panic withdrawal. We foresaw all those things, and earlier we put it out there. But the major challenge now is with capital. You know, most of the working capital of the agents are on loans. Most of them have subscribed one way or the other to loans, and therefore the interest rates are so high. So now the challenge on the board or the table is we want to speak to government so that he will help us with the soft loans that comes with very low interest, and therefore that will help us maximize and meet the needs of the customers. And by so doing, if we are able to do that, government will be able to at least get its targeted revenue, that is the 6.9 million Ghana cedis.
What will be the essence of that soft loan you are asking for?
Like I stated earlier, you know, we work with loans. And because of the higher interest rate, most of us can't at least go for much loan or much money to be able to meet the needs of the customer. And when this can happen, it's going to be a challenge because we are unable to meet the needs of all those our customers or the prospective customers that work with us. And therefore, when that can happen, our transactional volumes will reduce. But if we get soft loan and money that comes with low interest rate, it means that we'll be able to serve every customer that will walk into our office. And by so doing, we'll be able to maximize the volume of transactions. And mind you, the e-levy will be materialized when we are able to do much transactions. That will help the government to realize its stated objective in terms of revenue. So if you are unable to meet the needs of the customers, then it tells you government has nothing to get in terms of revenue.
Have your members been educated ahead of rollout?
Every day there's an engagement going on. If you go to our Facebook wall, all our media handles, our social media handles, we educate our members. And that is why I stated earlier, there are two forms of education ongoing. We have the one-on-one education that has to do with customers walking into our offices or shops. We educate them on the need for them not to panic to withdraw their money, because when your money is set to be in your account, e-levy is not going to affect it until you do a transfer. And even with the transfer, should you exceed the threshold of 100 Ghana cedis before even the e-levy will take effect. So we are educating them, and equally, you've also given me this medium to educate both customers and the ordinary Ghanaians so that they will have better understanding with regards to the law.
Charles, would have to leave it here. I'm grateful that you've been able to spend some time with us here on the poll.